What is up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Camera Junkie livestream. My name's Luis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie, where I remind you, as always, to upgrade your skills before your gear. If it's your first time here, welcome. Please be sure to introduce yourself into the chat so you can get the nice Camera Junkie Crew welcome. And as the tradition goes around here, the first thing that we do is to go ahead and check to see who are the first members of the crew to be hanging out in the chat. So let me go ahead and have to do something there. There we go. All right. I had noise cancellation on and that was throwing me off because I was just jamming to the music. But now I need to pay attention to Aiden just in case. All right. So let's get to that screen. Bam. All right. And right off the rip, we have Mr. Parker Jennings in the house saying hello to everyone. We have Jeremy Hubble also saying what's up. Hey, folks. Kevin Cox is saying hello to all. And he's also reminding all of us to make sure to hit that like button. It's highly appreciated. It's absolutely free. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so already and mark on your calendars because we do this every single Saturday. All right. And we have Randy in the house as well saying hello to everyone. We have Hal Videos in the house saying hello to all. And that's who we have so far, but the rest will be trickling in. Remember, if you have any questions whatsoever, please put a Q colon in front of it. That's just kind of the internet rule, so to speak. But it makes it a lot easier for me to find your question, make sure that I don't miss it in case you do have one. Hey, Robert's also in the house saying greetings to the fam. How you doing, Mr. Davenport? All right, so let's get to it. Right, what are we talking about today? FreeCAD. And as I named the live stream, upgrading my skills and my gear, right? Because I just dropped a video yesterday which basically encompasses what I've been able to do, and I just wanted to share it with you guys because I've been having a lot of fun. Now, there's a gratifying feeling that we all get, a sense of completion, right? Whenever we do anything, like maybe complete a YouTube video and post it, upload it, post it. Those of us who know all the intricate details that it takes to do something like that, whether it's complete a live stream, right? A variety of different things. We all get like that dopamine hit from different levels of like completion, right? That sense or that feeling of completion. So one thing that I've had on my mind for a long time is to be able to create the ideas that I've had in my head into actual viable products, right? Hey, we have BSG saying hi, Luis, and and to everyone. I think you get it right, BSG. I like that. Well, welcome. So continue, right? That level of, he says, is Gary from Creator Camp. Well, Gary, thank you for clarifying that, and that way I can call you by your name. All right, Gary. So where was I? Oh, the sense of completion, right? So there's a lot of things that I've done, and those of you who've been, watching me from the beginnings, the OGs, right, or the OJs, the original junkies, have seen me go to a variety of different things, from, creating my own lights from foam core and a variety of different things. One of them being this little stand that I made for my stream deck. Now, I've talked about it for a while because you can see it's pretty beat up. I've been using it for years and as a proof of concept, so to speak. And it was just an ergonomical stand that I can put rest my stream deck on. And it gave me the right, feel so that I can just have my left hand on it, because I use my stream deck for all my video editing. So I have my favorite shortcuts set there, and whenever I get into Final Cut Pro, I actually just have my favorite shortcuts at my fingertips, and it allows me to look at my keys and the keyboard and everything a whole lot less, saving me a lot of time, allowing me to keep my eyes on the screen and just use my hands. And it's also really helpful when I go into my Vision Pro mode, right? Because I don't want to have to like kind of be looking down when I'm in the Vision Pro. I can just focus on the screen and I know which keys are doing what, and it allows me to just run through and edit very easily. But having my hand in a flat position for a long time would hurt, so I made this little stand. The final goal of the stand was to make it into a viable product, right? But I didn't know how to get from this phase to like the 3D printing phase, because that's what the ultimate goal was for me. And slowly but surely, I've just been kind of putting it off because it it's sort of like the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And because it was made out of foam core and I was being able to use it for plenty of years, there was no real need of doing it. But late last year, I sold a camera to a friend in particular, and I sold it just so that I can buy my first 3D printer, which is the Bamboo Labs A1 Mini that I have running in the background right over there. And it was on sale, a great price, from even down from like 300, it was down to $200. So it was just almost like a no-brainer, and for me it was just like the best thing that could have happened, because it allowed me to scratch that itch that I had when it came to 3D printing. And through that, purchase, I was able to learn so much more and fall down the rabbit hole of 3D printing itself. So this entire wall that you see here, holding up the majority of my camera gear and odds and ends, all of that was 3D printed. And when it comes to organization and so many different aspects, like I've mentioned before, even the shower heads on in my shower, I've 3D printed, and it's changed my shower experience. So th- I am I'm very happy with taking this step into 3D printing, and this was just 100% using what other people have created, and that's using the mediums of like printables.com, thingiverse.com, and the proprietary website for Bamboo Labs, which is called Maker World, that just has a variety of different things that you can just look up and then print right on the spot, and then you have it. So that's what I had been doing for months with a majority of the things that I had, and just dabbling here and there into making my own parts. Now, one of the first parts that I made was just basically an add-on screen guard for my camera cage, right? And the way that I did it, because I didn't have actual CAD software experience, was there is still actually a keychain maker application, so to speak, that you can use within Maker World, and it's just all web based. So you're able to take that information and throw it on there, let's say like a business card, and then just make it almost like a 3D thing. And with that in mind, it just gave me the idea that I was like, if I just want a screen guard, so to speak, so that my screen, that, the flippy screen, is just protected from top to bottom, I said, all I need is just a couple of lines on a business card, like vertically. And then if I can just determine how high and low they are, then that's all I need. And that's exactly what I did with that keychain maker. And I went in there and I made just some blocks, and I made them the height that I wanted to, and then I was able to send it to the 3D printer, and it came out well enough that I can just double-sided tape and slap it to the side of my rig, and it was now protecting my LCD. And I was like, that was dope. And the dopamine that I got from that was just really cool, because it was the first time that I had experienced not just printing something, from Maker World, from Thingiverse, something that somebody else had made, but just my own idea come into fruition. And that was just like super cool. So I now had a new itch, so to speak, which was to actually let this thing come full circle, which was to complete the idea of the design, which was to make this into an actual product. Oh, I just ran dry, excuse me. I'm not gonna say no names, but there might be a particular company that should look into sponsoring me. Just saying. But so now I had a new itch to scratch, which was actually learning a CAD software to start taking my ideas from my mind and, you know, fleshing them out and making them into an actual thing. So now it came that I decided to put it into action. And I said, you know what? No excuses, just results. And let's get started with something. And I want to share exactly what I started with. This is it. It's a little micro desk organizer, right? But it was the first thing that I was able to make. So there was a YouTube channel that just basically said, learn the basics. And if like you can make this design, then basically you have learned all of the necessary basic tools to start running the program FreeCAD. So I did it, I made it, and I printed it out. And now this is just like the proof of concept of me learning those new skills to be able to flesh out anything that I had in my mind's eye. And what I want to share with you guys is that I'm just knocking myself because I should have done this so much sooner. The reason why is because throughout all the years, most of you have probably heard me talk about how I think in 3D, right? Like that I can look at something and automatically in my mind's eye, I can look at it from a variety of different angles. And that's exactly what the CAD software is. It's that in a nutshell. So now I am able to take all these ideas that I have and just throw them onto the computer, and just with the iterative process of just opening the application over and over and over again and just going each time and just making a change here, learning what the limitations of the software are, what you can and can't do, right? As far as a 3D model goes, then I think I've like advanced quite far in a very short amount of time since I started messing with it. Now, talking about that, Jeremy says enhanced shower experience. Can't say I thought of that one. Dude, the shower heads, right? They just produce so much a better water flow and pressure that is just been like, I had a rainfall shower head that I just got rid of because I'm using the ones that I 3D printed. But not to lose track of that. So now I'm able to take my ideas the way that I have them in my mind and actually throw them onto the screen and then make them into something real. And it's still an iterative process because there's a lot of tolerances and things like that when you're creating something. So as soon as I learned the necessary skills to make that little desktop organizer, I decided to make my first official part, right? And it was just a fix that was a long time coming, at least for me. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna just dive in. And I opened up the application, and surely enough, after just a couple of ideas, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make the full on part. And I did. And now I want to share that with you because it is a part to fix this little Ulanzi fan right here, the CA25, that basically only had one actual problem, which was the clip that it had to actually pressure. If you can see the spring-loaded clip here, I'm hiding what I changed, which was the little flap. So you know what, let me go to the overhead. Yep, and you're gonna see my desk is a bit of a mess because of all of the things that I've done. So this was the change. Now let me see if I can find the original part, because I got all this stuff everywhere. Here it is. Bam. So this was the original part that it came with. Now, as you can see, there's just a bit of a change, but the biggest difference is that little flap right there, because it's what was causing all of the problems. Now, without that flap, you're just basically relying on the pressure of the springs to hold that fan in place. Now, the design here is great because it's got like a nice little lip that clips onto the actual like LCD clip on the camera back, but the front side basically just slipped off. And you can go ahead and, you know, watch my latest video. It's about 2 minutes long. It's super fast, just basically explaining this. And just to let you know that it wasn't just the first shot I got it right? Because it was a very iterative process. And that's what I want to share with you, because in this bag here, I have a variety of different versions that didn't work out quite exactly, right? So you can see the first one that I tried was just a little flap, right, that I was gonna double-sided tape basically adhere to the metal one, right, to see if maybe we could just 3D print that. And it was holding in place just a bit, but after a while it was just double-sided tape that was holding it together, so it came apart. That's when I said, you know what, I need to make this an actual thing. And as you can see, I have a variety of different options. First, I just started with a block, right, just to try to get the measurements right. And as you can see, I had quite a few different versions of just the block running around here, because I was getting the distance of the screws exactly right, even though I should have known better, because now I'm using a simple little tool that I've already had in my arsenal. I just didn't use it for this one, which is my calipers, right? But I digress. So as you can see, even though I started doing, you know, different versions of it and testing and trying out, and there's still more in the bag. There's still like what, 3 more in here, right? Because that's the, you know, process of doing this. And I got to tell you, that's what I've had the most fun with, because it's just like a puzzle that you're trying to solve. So what I did was that I wanted to just also kind of like celebrate this and give this away, but I did it in a different way. And if you watch the video, you'll know what I'm talking about, because of the simple fact that I also started the Camera Junkie News, right? Yeah, Camera Junkie News. And the CNC, right? Camera Junkie News. And that's going to be a new newsletter. And basically, if you sign up to the newsletter, you get access directly to the STL file, so that if you have this fan, you can fix it yourself. But you know what, talking about that, I'm going to throw this into the chat right now. So if any of you guys want to sign up to the newsletter yourselves, you can feel free to do so. Actually, you know what? I don't have just a regular sign up. I only have the 3D one. So you know what? I'm going to hold it upon myself. If you're watching this and you want to sign up, I'll make sure to leave a new link in the description just to sign up to the email list without having to download, right? That one slipped my mind, but I've just been excited with all the other things that I've been doing. So now that just led to the next thing, which was, as soon as I created my first part, it kind of just opened up everything for me. And that's when I started actually creating everything else. So one of those things was the final product of, oh, actually, I kind of just didn't even realize it was there, but this is the final 3D printed part of my foam core, you know, ergonomic stand for the Stream Deck. But that's exactly where I've been up to that moment. Let me see what Jeremy just says. Very true. He says 3D printers are a lot like cameras. They mostly achieve the same goal. Exactly. Little nuances. Exactly. But I'm really having a lot of fun because of the simple fact that I now have taken my new skill, and I think I've upped it a little bit, which is now what I want to show you guys. so let me go ahead into that screen. That screen go? Oh, it's the next one down. Yeah. Boom. Right? So now this is FreeCAD. I'm gonna move my face a little bit if I can. There we go. All right, so this is the FreeCAD program, and I've just been having so much fun with it. And this is what I meant when I was saying that, like, you can create something, and the way that I can grab this and just manipulate it and move it around in 3D space is what I was trying to explain before, as far as saying that this is the way that my mind works. And this is why I've been kind of like, okay, you guys can hear me though, right? Yeah, okay. I haven't seen anything saying. I'll just continue. So this is how my mind works mostly, and right now is just a bit cluttered, so my apologies. I thought I was having an audio issue, but we march on. So this is how my mind works, and I just want to show you a little bit how this program works itself. Now I'm going to go to the start screen, and I'm just going to open up a couple of the projects that I've had already, right? So this is another fix or problem that I had, because this is a tripod stand that I had basically stacked a bunch of Ulanzi stands, or the Ulanzi claw clips, on top of each other, just so that I can get the appropriate distance from the flange so that it wouldn't knock into the bars on my camera rig. So you know what, let me bring that over. It was a lot easier to show you than to try to explain all of that. So let me go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead back to the overhead, right? So this is my FX30 rig, right? And right here I have the carbon fiber rods. So I actually had to make a plate that was low enough. So the first idea that I had was to actually create not the plate itself, but basically just an extension block, right? A block that would just give me the flange distance that I wanted. But then I recognized, I was like, you know what? I can make it all in one. So why don't I do that? And that's where I ended up with this, because what I was first going to do was just basically make is it control? Yeah. The distance, right, from this point to this point here, right, which is what I needed. But then I was just going to make the plate underneath it kind of attachable, which at first, which is like, seems like a good idea, but then I started recognizing that I would then have to do two things. I would have to make it attachable to the camera rig itself, and then I would then have to make an insert for the 1/4-20 threads to actually add the plate that I'm using onto the extension, which I said kind of defeats the purpose. And that's when I went right into CAD and said, you know what, let's make them both in one. Right? And that's what I came up with this. So hopefully it makes sense in the 3D space and world, right? Where I took the size of the plate and basically just replicated it to the bottom part here, which is this like long line that you're seeing highlighted right here. And then I just started building upon it, right? Then I just started taking away negative space, but also creating like these blocks here to give it that reinforcement for all the extra weight that is going to have to carry. Then I made the holes specifically sized for the screws that I'm going to be using, you know, like the standard small rig, you know, 1/4-20 screws, which if you want to know, it's a 6.4 to the internal diameter and a 10.2 to the external, and you will have a nice fit. But as you can see that I'm already speaking in these terms because of the simple fact that this is already how my mind is thinking, and I've done it so many times already quickly that it's already just a number that's already in my mind. So I then went and printed this sucker out, and lo and behold, it fit perfectly. A perfectly customized tripod mount, 50mm for my small rig tripod, and now the camera rig is all set up. It's so much sturdier than it was prior because, as you can see, it has like 4 mounting points, which is exactly what I wanted, because of course it's a 3D printed part, but I also don't want any shifting, which is usually why we put 2 sets there. But I said, you know what, I'm gonna go with 4. And it also mimics the design of the plate that I have and that I'm using here. I am gonna make another one just like this, kind of to be more universal, and put just 3 of these holes, 2 of the, you know, regulars, and 1 of the oval shape just along the center line, so that way it would fit the majority of just cameras if they don't have a bottom plate or a tripod plate or anything like that. So that's gonna be the plan for, you know, moving in the future. Let me open up another one. All right. Yes. So now this is exactly what I kind of like updated before. So I'm just gonna put it on this small camera here. See, this is like kind of the first version. It doesn't work. Let me go ahead and go back to the top down. This is the first version. As you can see, is just like the first version that I had was the business card, right, that had the same profile. Then I came and made one with a whole setup so that I could actually adjust the size, because I already went to kind of like the next step on creating a camera cage system to replace what I was already doing. So the first camera that I did this for is actually the Nikon Z30, and the kind of justification for this is like it's the patient that needed the most help, if that makes sense. So, you know, it was more priority to kind of fix that one, but it was also a proof of concept. So I decided to put my skills, my newfound skills, to work, and I built an entire system for it. So because this was the first iteration of it, I then came across to the point where I was running a cable across this area right here, and I said, you know what would be cool if I would flip this on its head and actually just kind of loop it, right, and then hollow out the bottom side, so when I have this in place, it now becomes a little cable tunnel, so to speak. And with that, I jump right into the CAD software, which hopefully explains what we're looking at here, right? So as you can see, this is the same exact part right there, except now I created that cable tunnel. Now the first one was fully complete, but then I created this little notch here because iterations. Once I put it all together, the cable that was running through it was kind of squeezing too tight for the tolerances. So I just created that little notch, and now it gives me plenty of room to connect, disconnect that cable, and keep everything flush mounted and still have the cable management built in. Because the last one to show you is basically the body of that system. Now this is the camera cage setup that I got going on right now, right? And this is the design, and this is it in 3D space. So now, as you can see, these 2 little holes here, these are the inserts for the part that I was just showing you before. So these are gonna align with these, with this hole right here, right? And this is gonna be placed on top of this, just aligned there. And then, like, now we have that set up. The bottom holes are for the bottom plate, top for the top, and then the back to hold the battery compartment. So now this is a completed part, and I was able to print it out. And basically now we're gonna go back to the overhead. to show you that this is what it looked like, or looks like, as a finished product. So you can see I put the heated inserts in the bottom, which then I'll be able to just grab, like, my base plate, and boom. Now we have the first part. Then I'll take top plate, and we're rocking and rolling. And this little wedge and everything, these are all little, like, minor iterations, because that fits perfectly within the cage of the small rig, so that everything's gonna fit nice and snug, and there's like zero tolerance or zero give to it, because I'm just nerding out super hard with this program. Just having so much fun, and I made my first official set of parts. You can see this is the first version of it. But then, because I needed to cut out, and now, you know what? I have a little time, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it together. You see here. I gotta make sure I have everything. So we have the Nikon Z30 camera. Here we go. Boom. All right, there's one last thing missing. Oh, it's two things missing. It was the battery and the battery clamp. So this is basically it. You're gonna have three external pieces: a battery, listen to me, a small rig bottom plate, or plate, cheese plate, but I'm using it as the bottom cheese plate. This is a nicey rig, right? I think that's how you say it, nicey rig. And then I have a small rig V-mount clamp. It has no electronics. So this is just keeping it as light as possible. And now this is the small rig cage for the Z30. And I'm just going to show you how I designed it and how we're going to put it all together. Bam. Now we're just going to have some fun nerding out. All right. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to disconnect that lens. You know what? Let me move the microphone a bit. This is definitely picking up my audio well, so I'm hiding it behind my head here. All right. Perfect. All right, good. Okay. Gonna detach the lens and cover this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take the key from underneath. Make sure the side here is nice and loose. Now first we're going to start by putting in the Z30 camera. This has a weird little hook. It goes up, then goes down, falls in that loop. Then you tighten the screw down so that the hook no longer moves. And now we go to the bottom. Put the cage to the frame. Nice and tight. So now we have this rig set up. Now, this is the whole thing. I already have this set up. If you don't, it's up to you. I recommend it because of all the extra weight that we're going to be adding to it. I want the extra like protection, just so it makes sure if anything were to slip, we're not dropping the camera. Now, this is one thing, and I'm just going to mention this. The Nikon Z30 is not a camera without its flaws, right? And one of its flaws is that it overheats, and it overheats fast. So what I did to prevent the overheating is that I purchased a little fan setup. You know what? That's something I did forget to grab. It should be here. Here we go. So this is the fan setup that I got for it. It's a digital photo, and it was called the Iceman. I'll put all the links down below. And this is just gonna live here. And this thing is amazing. Now, this is right side up, but as my configuration setup, gonna put this guy upside down, and the reason why is because of access to this button and where they put the USB-C. So if you can see, my thumb will reach the button before the USB-C. If it's down here, the USB-C actually gets in the way of you pressing the power button. So I have it upside down. It works just the same, but that's the way that I have that set up. So pretty much set there. Now let's go ahead and start putting this together. Now, I did make a new iteration, but this is the first one that I have completed. Now, the only thing connecting the top part was just these two screws here on the back. Oh, I'm kind of not centered, right? Just these two screws here in the back. So what I did was actually made a new model where I have an extension on the top, and I'm able to screw in two screws from the bottom here and from the back to actually hold that in place even tighter. So that's in the latest version, but we're building this one out right now. Now, just gonna grab some screws because we're gonna need them. I believe these are the 9mm screws. Drop a couple here in the back. Guys, I gotta tell you, this is so much fun. This is like Legos for adults. With huge added bonuses as far as you could actually make things that are viable and useful. I gotta tell you, this already is super solid. Now, the reason why I added those extra inserts is just because I wanted to kind of double up the safety. And that's it. I was just being anal about it because I was thinking if I'm putting my camera on a rig, I would want to put as much protection, and it wasn't gonna like take away from the design. So like I said, I just added two inserts here, so then it holds it down even better. But nonetheless, this thing is rock solid. Now let's continue. Go to the bottom. Now I'm just gonna add two right now, but as you can see, I would be adding all four. That's just for time's sake right now. And And let's just pretend I added 2 more. Bam, there you go. Now, side piece. It's quickly coming together. Rear plate. Now I did actually make a design for a variety of different. So this one, as you can see, will be using the top and the bottom, but then there's these small rig V-mount clips as well that I also have. So I put those there so that if you had either or, you'll still be able to use this. That's done to that. Right, and that's pretty much done, as you can see. And once again, like I said, this thing's rock solid, but now we're able to attach it to the rest of the system. And like I said, when I said it fits snug, I mean snug. Look at the tolerance between the Arca Swiss plate right here, and it will focus right here, and that little line. Ah, feels so right. All right. Now top view, we're gonna be aligning these two. Close the door on it. Flip it to the bottom. We're done. And this is my Nikon Z30 Camera Junkie kit, or what I am calling Rig Junkie, right? My Rig Junkie setup for the Nikon Z30. Right here, I'm able to attach my large V-mount battery, and as you can tell, flush mounted top and bottom because I'm OCD, right? Once that's set up, I'm able to take my D-tap battery. We're gonna just add it to the setup. Okay, open it. Get rid of the regular battery. And convenient little space to hide the cables in there. A little slot to bring the cable forward to connect it. Now, I do have a cable that I'm actually using over here right now, but actually, you know what? Let me disconnect it. Now this is the cable that I got. As you can see, it's 290-degree angles. And this is the cable, not gonna do it right now, but that I'm actually connecting to connect to the fan. But then at the same time, as you can see, I cut out this little notch so that I could actually press the button that I had mentioned before to turn on and off that fan. As soon as I have it to feed the power is to connect it to this USB tap off to the side, which as you can see is the reason why I threw on that cable management right there. And once that's done, then I take the top handle, add to it, and that completes my Nikon Z30 camera cage build and my first Rig Junkie setup. As you can see, this isn't final, but you guys who catch the live stream get the sneak peek. But that is what I've been able to do with FreeCAD, with 3D printing and everything. And I have to say, the satisfaction that I'm getting right now out of bringing an idea from my mind to the CAD software, then printing it out and making it a viable actual part is second to none. And I didn't even get into like the little nuances, because right here, the last missing part of this rig is that when you throw the cage onto the Z30, the record button for video gets recessed all the way into the inside there. And another thing is that even though I have the little handle, I kind of would like something here on my thumb to actually like be able to grip, and I cured both of those with a simple part here. Let me see. Which is the power button extension and thumb rest. Oops. That wasn't supposed to happen, but I now take this, and you know what? Let me go back to the overhead just to finish it up here. Put this right here. Lock it down. And now it's two birds, one stone. I have my thumb rest, but also I've made an extension to the record button. So now it just makes it even that much easier. I'm able to rest it, flip open, press record, hold the camera, stop record. And as you can see, now I have complete control with the small rig grip onto it and that thumb rest. And like I say, I go back to the simple fact that I have to say my favorite part out of all of this that I'm just nerding out with you guys today and showing you is the fact that I feel like now there's nothing that I can't do or make. Like, just automatically my mind is jumping to this. So how I mentioned before that now I search the maker world before I search Google. Now I'm just completely into the creation process, which I'm absolutely in love. Like, is the fact that I can make anything. Like, there's the world is my oyster, so to speak. And I'm having so much fun. So like I mentioned in my actual video that I dropped yesterday, if you have any idea or a pain point, so to speak, with a camera or anything like that, like, please leave it in a comment down below, because I would love to be able to, you know, foil around with the idea to figure out a fix for a part or something that I can do that might, you know, help you out with that. So I'm really into that aspect right now. I feel that I've done everything that I need to do with the Z30. And with this fan setup, cage, and my little mods, I've already tested this as well. It runs indefinitely, so now you can record non-stop with the Z30 and it won't overheat with that Iceman setup and a battery pack like that allows it to just run indefinitely. You can record indefinitely basically with it. So this to me feels like it's complete. Like the missing parts or the lacklusterness of this camera, which is not that it's bad, it's just like the missing features, or the one drawback was that and the overheating. And and now with this setup, I feel like this is something that I can use all the time, and it's just a working model. So I feel satisfied, I guess is the best way of saying. I feel satisfied with it, that I could move on to another project, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Because even though I showed you the FX30, that's probably going to be the next one on the list to actually get modded up. If not the A7C2, right? That one might get done ahead of time, but definitely I'm gonna be messing around with creating cages and like lightweight like models for this. Because the one thing that compared to the other options that are out there on the market, is that this requires no electronics. So whether it is that you want to do it yourself and you already have some of this set up, you're able to print it and get it done and in your hands, the same day, comparative to having to wait for shipping and things like that. But if you don't have your own 3D printer, then you'll still be able to get it through me, through the Fourth Wall shop, so that you can get your hands on this items, whether it's just the bare bones kit, right? So that you can put your own parts to it, like the plates. Because I'm also going to make it available for somebody like me that usually has an abundance of extra cheese plates, and we can put them to use with something like this. Or if you just don't have any of it and you want the whole entire kit, including the cage and the top and bottom plates, that's all gonna be available, like with different tiers. So it's just really cool and exciting to get that done and to be able to offer that, both as far as like providing and sharing into the 3D printing community, and also bringing it in as far as a Venn diagram with the camera community and everything that I love, Camera Junkie. So I'm in a good place right now. I'm really happy to be able to share this with you, but also even more excited with all the things that my mind is running wild with, the ability to make these things. So I'm just really excited for it. And yeah, like that's it for this week. Let me see what you guys are saying in chat. Yes, I will do that, Randy. I actually need to make the link, because if I would have said like I could have just put the link up, right? I would have said, oh, I will share it right now. But the only link that I made in the application for Kit to actually get it is to actually download the STL file for this for the Yolandi fan that I had made, right? The first thing. So that's the first thing. Now I just need to make the link if you just want to join the newsletter without having to download anything else, right? Just to stay informed and up to date with the Camera Junkie Crew on all the new things that are going to be coming up. And I'm going to be using that definitely as a medium directly to the Camera Junkie Crew, so that you guys are really like in tune with what I'm doing, because I'm on a new kick of just no excuses, just results. And I'm just trying to knock out as many things as possible. And pretty soon you guys are just gonna turn around and be like, how did you get so much done? And I'm gonna tell you, I don't know. I just put my head down and did it, and that's what I'm in the middle of. But as always, I appreciate you guys for all of the support and hanging out with me here. We did it for the hour now. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit the like button. It's highly appreciated. I've been so wrapped up, guys. I'm gonna have to owe it to you. I didn't get a cities gaw for today. I didn't have anything pulled up because I was looking for something that kind of fit within the theme of 3D printing and things like that. But you know what? if we're gonna do 3D printing, let's do it on the fly. I just thought of somebody who I'm gonna share with you guys. So let me just pull them up. And we're gonna do Cities Gone no matter what. We're gonna get it done. Let me find this channel. Now this guy, he does 3D printing stuff. Right? So he's very big into this aspect, and I just follow him for like just for basically entertainment, right? Like he's not so much into the educational side, but he's definitely into like the enthusiastic side. You know what? Here he is. Let's pull this up over here. Bam. All right. So let's do it. We're gonna run it. This is Cities God, channels that I think you should go and watch. This is the on the fly 3D printed edition of Cities God. All right. And let's go ahead. No, that wasn't it. This is the button. There we go. And we hit here, and it's Mr. or channel, YouTube channel, Mr. Uncle Jesse. Why am I saying Mr.? Uncle Jesse is this week's Cities Gone. Now, he, like I said, he just does a lot of amazing 3D printing stuff, news and stuff like that. It's just a whole lot of fun on his channel. And you can see he gets into everything, like the Marvel universe. He does extra large prints, constantly testing out different printers. And he's just a 3D printing enthusiast. His channel is all about 3D printing and stuff like that. So if you want to learn some things, like check out this thing, the 3D wall mounts for all of his masks and cages. You can see Wolverine, Magneto. He's got it all. Like his avatar is him in his Magneto helmet, right? But as you can see, he's got a variety of different like views and just different things, like everything 3D printing. That's all I can say. This guy has it basically all, but he's also very entertaining, and that's why I watch him more for the entertainment aspect. So this week's Cities Gone is Uncle Jesse from the YouTube channel Uncle Jesse. So go ahead and check it out. This week's Cities Gone, channels that I think you should go and watch, 3D print edition. All right. And we did it, guys. Hey, JP's in the house. Man, thanks for doing what you guys did at NAB. You guys like kind of help calm the FOMO. It says just wrapped up a shoot. Man, that's... Oh, but you're an hour, so it's kind of 10. But still, 10 o'clock is still kind of late for wrapping up a shoot. But it is Saturday, so this is the money making days, you know, especially when it comes to photography, bartending. It all falls into that, so you have more time during the week. But you made it just in time to say goodbye, you know. Yeah, guys, as always, thank you for making this my favorite place to hang out every single week. This was episode 228. Yes, 228 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream without skipping a beat. So I gotta thank you guys as always for making this my favorite place to hang out. This is why I will never miss a Camera Junkie live stream. There's nothing better for me to wrap up the week with the Camera Junkie crew. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Mark down on your calendars 10 p.m. Saturday nights Eastern Standard Time for the Camera Junkie Camera Junkie live stream. Man, the words are tough today for whatever reason. I got to look into that. But yes, so guys, take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you next week, same time, same place, right here on the Mr. Camera Junkie YouTube channel. You see, I got that one right. The Uncle Jesse with the Mr. threw me off a bit, but we worked through it and we're better for it. Guys, take care of yourselves. I will see you next week. And until then, talk to you.